So here's what the bones look like. And then what we're gonna start doing these is, as you look, they have a little bit of fat cap. We're gonna go try to trim some of these off. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it out, cut a little bit off. You don't have to take everything off on the fat, just remove a little bit because we do want some fat on there because all that's gonna go ahead and render into the meat. It's all gonna be flavor. Okay, there we go. So again, just cutting off some of that extra fat. And again, a little bit of fat is good because it's definitely gonna give it some flavor. But we don't want definitely big mounds of fat. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do here. All right, so here now you can go ahead and see we actually have the beef ribs nice and trimmed. We did leave some of the fat again for flavor. And now we're just putting just basic kosher salt, just rubbing it in there. And we're gonna make sure that we salt all around the edges also, because again, we wanna go ahead and create a nice bark around these ribs. And because again, for more flavor. So we're just gonna use just basic kosher salt and some pepper. If you have some other specific barbecue rubs that you wanna do, then that's fine. Now on the back side, if you wanna salt it, that's fine, but you don't have to because there is a membrane back there that's a pretty thick membrane. Now, I will guarantee you that that membrane, if it's a pork rib, you absolutely have to take the membrane off, but the beef rib is gonna be the exception because these ribs are gonna be so fall off the bone that we actually need that membrane there to actually keep it together. So remember, on beef ribs, you absolutely do not remove the membrane because it's gonna protect your ribs and keep everything together. Because you're gonna see when we're done, we're gonna be able to basically pull off these bones and have them slip right out. Now again, I repeat, if you're doing pork and you're not taking the membrane off, we have to take some points away because we absolutely need to do that on the pork ribs. But for the beef ribs, we're not. So like I said, we'll just finish it off with a little bit of pepper here, and then we'll go out to the smoker and get this thing started. All right, so now we have had our beef ribs in the smoker for about 3.5 hours. So let's go ahead and see what they look like. Let's go ahead and open it up. And there we go, some nice beautiful smoke. We're actually getting some very nice color on these, so this is definitely coming out nice so far, but I still think we have a lot more to go. I'm going to go ahead and see what we have here on our temperature. So let me go ahead and take it from the other side. And again, we don't want to touch any bone or anything to be able to get the right temperature, and you can see the temperature coming up. So let's see, 140, 142. We probably want to take these beef ribs up to about 190, 195, and then we're going to take them and wrap them. So as you see, we still do have a long way to go, and the color is still light. These should be very, very dark. It's going to be like a brisket. So have a long way to go. So I'm going to stop this because we need to go ahead and close the lid here to go ahead and keep this cooking going. All right, so now we have the beef ribs in here. They've been in here about 6 hours. So let's go ahead and check and see how they're doing. And I want to go ahead and check the internal temperature and see how that's doing also. So let's open it up. Oh, there you go. These are definitely looking good. Let me go ahead and get the temperature in here. And then we'll see. We'll give it time. And again, it's definitely getting a nice bark, a nice color, and they're looking really good. As you can see, the meat's pulling back from the bones a little bit. So hopefully we should be wrapping this up pretty soon. And let's say absolutely 195 is what I wanted. We are at 192. So I would say, I think we should pull this off, wrap it up. And once we wrap it up, now what we're looking for is to go ahead and tenderize the meat a little bit. And so we'll do it about another hour and a half or 2 hours wrapped up in here. So let me go ahead and get the foil, wrap this up, and we'll be back with you here shortly. All right, so here we go. We took off the ribs and we put them face down. And as you can go ahead and see, we're gonna put a little bit of moisture in there. That probably looks good. And this is, again, just to go ahead and tenderize it. We're gonna wrap it up in here. You could use apple cider vinegar if you want, or you can use apple juice, anything like that. But wrap it up there, keep all the juices in there, and then we'll put it back up on the barbecue, and you're gonna see some amazing food coming out here in a little bit. So I'm definitely getting hungry, because it's been a long day. All right, right, there we go. We wrapped it up. We put it back in the smoker. So we'll check back here shortly. All right, so here we're back with our dino bones, our beef ribs, and they've been smoking for about 5.5 hours, and now we wrapped them. We've had them wrapped for about an hour and a half or two, so total I think we got about 7.5 hours on here. So let's pull them off and see what they look like. So let's open it up. We're gonna pull it off, and I'm gonna go ahead and set them right here. And let's open these up and let's just see what they have. So we want to go ahead and let's get a little close up of this so we can see it. Can you see that? And yes, the bones don't always go in the same direction because they don't always cooperate, but they all have a mind of their own. But these, again, if you look, super juicy. And I don't even know even if we need any sauce. Let's take them inside. Let's slice these things up because I am hungry. Let's do it. All right, so finally, we've brought them into the kitchen. We've brought them inside, and you can see it releasing all the juices and everything. So we're gonna slice them and go ahead and see how these turn out. So let me go ahead and slice the first one and see how that turns out. Oops, I got the bone there. And as you see, the bones just kind of come out all by themselves. So you see, the meat just comes right off. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then as a matter of fact, might as well pull off all the bones here. As a matter of fact, we can pull these here. And like I say, again, the importance of not taking off the membrane in the back because it's going to keep it together. So let's just take this and slice this and let's see what they look like. Okay? So they're beautiful. Now, one thing I do want you to notice, do you see the pink on the outside? Some people think that's raw, but how can it be raw on the outside and cooked on the inside? That is actually called the smoke ring, and that's going to be the evidence if you actually did do it correctly or not. So if you do not see the smoke ring, probably did not do it right. But let me go ahead and slice some of these up, and then my favorite part is we get to try. So not to make you guys suffer anymore, we'll end the video here, but just make sure, like I said, don't be afraid to try new things and try new food and enjoy it. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to Foodie Dean and click the bell notification so that way you get to see all the new videos. I don't want to eat in front of you, so I'm going to let you guys go, but enjoy and stay tuned for more adventures. Thank you.